something. And so I still feel like I still have a pretty rocky pitch. I mean, we were at a Pathfinders event for church the other night that was just filled with entrepreneurs and business owners. And we got into a conversation with Marco Contreras, who's running for office down in Chula Vista. And his wife asked me what I did. And, I can't even tell you right now what I told her exactly, but my wife was with me and she's like, babe, I think you're getting better at your pitch, and I think it's part of working through this, process, because to your point, I'm trying to use that 30 seconds, that 1 minute, that 3 minutes to really convey something. And when you're talking about hospice and the service of hospice, to me, it's like, man, I gotta go around all of the bases to get my point across here, and you actually don't. And so through working with you, Caleb, I think where I've landed right now, and I know that this is a process of evolution, is I don't know if I guess this is my pitch. So to Sandra's point, is it the pitch or is it the actual presentation? But the pitch is revealed. A little known government secret helping people live longer, more fulfilling lives without costing you a dime.
Now that's a little bit more intriguing than let me tell you about hospice. ... Would you agree?
Let me tell you about death and dying.
Right. Absolutely. And remember, and I know this is hard, but I am trying to not discuss death at all when I talk about hospice. And I'll just give you another case in point. There's a gentleman at my church that I gave a presentation to about 5-6 weeks ago now. And I gave him a presentation on a Saturday. And Caleb, thanks for acknowledging this. So I gave a presentation on Saturday to about 30 people. On Sunday at church, one of the gentlemen that I gave a presentation to said, hey, Jason, I think I got a lead for you. I gave someone your information. Your talk yesterday was great, and I think that she can really use your help. And I actually ended up getting a call from her. My phone was on silent, so I didn't see it until late. By the time I called her back, it was actually like 9 o'clock our time, not realizing she was in Kansas. And so it was later than 9 o'clock her time. And I ended up staying on the phone with her for an hour and 15 minutes. Lindsay Howell is a 28-year-old with gastroparesis. And I'm saying that she wanted more information about hospice, and she felt that she was a candidate. And from the presentation I gave, she contacted Abe and asked Abe for my information because she wanted hospice to live. 28 years old. She wanted hospice to live.
Let's put a pin in that story, Jason. Thank you for
pins there.
Thank you for sharing.
I just wanted to, hey, let me tell you a punchline real quick. Abe sent me a text message yesterday, and he said, you're a man of God, and I appreciate you. You may have helped save Lexi's life.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. That's the punchline. That's what we needed. So to reverse engineer that, I've been pushing Jason on this idea of the stadium pitch. I said, you need a perfect webinar. They call it a stadium pitch. It's kind of the same principle. Stadium pitch is a little bit more hooky title, right? And this is what we're going to workshop right now. I've been pushing Jason on this. He had a stage. How many people were in that crowd? Not a lot of people.
20.
So not like 1,000-person webinar, but he had 20 people. He presented his core story, which he talks about, right? Like why he's doing what he's doing, how he discovered that hospice, if applied appropriately, can actually help you live longer, right? It's not a into the fourth quarter, Hail Mary, we've got 2 minutes left to live option. That's what it's used for most of the time. He's reframing it with his experience and his story that created that inspired someone in the crowd who went through their brain. Who needs this? Who needs this? Who needs this? All right. This isn't digital marketing. This isn't like a Facebook ad properly targeted. No, it's like it triggered something in the crowd and they connected the two. And now there's a young lady in the middle of the country who's benefiting from this service because of this principle. So what Jason has illustrated is it's super powerful. It is super powerful to understand why you do what you do and to be able to communicate that in a very concise amount of time that captures their attention and they go, oh, I need this. Okay. But in order to do that, we need to talk. So this is the buyer's pyramid she lays out in this book. So 3% are ready to buy now. Okay. 6 to 7% are open to it. 30% are not thinking about it. 30% don't think they're interested. And then 30% know they're not interested. You can't sway me. All right. So it doesn't matter what you're selling. This is kind of the breakdown of where people are at ready to buy. So if your presentation, if your webinar, if your ad, if your anything is speaking only to this 3% of, hey, I have this thing. Are you ready to buy now? Hey, I'm Caleb. I make sales funnels. I make lead generation systems for small business. Do you want one? It's going to help you. I have about, only about 10% are easily swayed. Okay. The other 90, not so much. So I need to reframe that pitch into something that is a little bit more compelling. Does that make sense? So last week, we went into the chat. I saved my chat. And we came up with some ideas for this stadium pitch. All right, I'm just going to read out a few. All right. Andreas, you here? Where did he go? Yeah, there he is. What's up?
Yo.
All right. Andreas said, here is a proposed title of his stadium pitch. Not flexing your reviews is allowing your competition to win. Not bad. Scott said 95% of married business leaders burn out because of this one essential activity. Remember that, Scott, when you said that? Okay. Sandra, 3 things every woman needs to know to live their own life full out. Okay.
I did some work on that since, so I messed around with what she said.
Good. All right, we want to hear about it. All right, so I said there's a 90% chance your business will fail within 10 years. Use this one method to beat the odds. Okay. Would you be more interested to hear about sales funnels with that and lead generation with that title as opposed to here's why I don't know, some other crappy title?
I just think your 10 years should go down to 5 because most businesses that are going to fail are gone by 5 years. 10 years is a long time. Well, yeah, by the time I get it built up, I'll get back to you about year 7 and figure it out.
That's great. Okay. So this is Jason, how people live longer with a government paid benefit and save tens of thousands in the process. Okay. Right. So you kind of get the idea. We need to not talk so much about, we can't talk to the people who are just ready to buy right now. We need to broaden our appeal and not just talk, like, let's use Ken, for example, right? So this nutrition product is, it's good, right? It's a vegan chocolate shake. You mix it with water, you put it in a little blender ball. It's good, right? It's nice. I personally never buy this type of stuff. I'm happy with the banana and a cup of yogurt and a coffee. Like, I'm okay. I'll deal with it, right? I know I don't get all my vitamins and minerals. I'll probably die early, whatever. So if I saw an ad telling me why this is the best supplement on the market or why it's better than Slim Fast, I might ignore you. But if you tell me how this supplement can help, the one thing you can do today to have the most productive, energized day ever without drinking coffee, something like that, right? Because the vitamins and minerals give your body the nutrition it needs to operate at full capacity, operate at 100% efficiency, blah, blah, blah. And if you speak to me more on that, and that this breakfast shake is the vehicle that helps accomplish that thing that most people are interested in, having energy, not having that mid-morning crash, not having to worry about, I don't know, just broadening out the message a little bit. I'm a lot more interested in what you have to say. Does that make sense? So what I'd like us to do, workshop style, Mr. Pellegrino, good morning. Good to see you. All right. Aaron, good to see you. How are you? All right. So Aaron, last week you were asking Amanda some questions about your stadium pitch. Do you remember what some of your proposed titles were? Muted. Yeah.
I said, candidly, sorry, I don't. Right now, I'm focused on sourcing product. Once I get that all figured out, then we'll we'll get the stadium pitch going.
Okay. All right.
Sorry for that response, but it's the truth.
It's all good. It's all right. It's yeah. Anyway, so before I forget, if you want me to send a copy of this to you, this is my new workbook. Aaron, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Put your address and phone number in the chat and I will send it out to you. Okay. So this is my new workbook. I'm boxing them up. I got all kinds of goodies in here. So just let me know where to send your thing.
Is that the same workbook that comes with the insanely the $30,000 offer stack that only costs $39?
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
I lost that, Scott. I couldn't find where that stack
You want
was.
my mailing address? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Okay, put some Canadian postage on that.
Scott, maybe you can put that other $39 thing down in the chat as well.
I just mailed to Romania, so I can go
Got
international.
you, Sandra.
All my businesses are in the US, but I live in Toronto. Yay, free healthcare.
Yay. All right. It also, yeah, drop your phone number in there as well. Okay. So let's workshop this a little bit. Let's take 2 minutes, get your pen and paper out. What do you sell? Think about a title of a talk that you could share that would demonstrate why people need what you sell. Thanks for that. Thanks for that link, Scott. Appreciate that. So think of a title for a talk. And this talk, you have 5 minutes in front of a stadium. Okay. You have 30,000 people who are going to listen to your message. And there's a good chance a lot of them could buy. It's 30,000 people, 30,000 of your ideal clients. What are you going to talk about? And what's the title of your pitch that's going to hook their attention?
Can I go with the one from last week?
No, Scott, I'm going to make you list.
I liked it when I heard you read it.
I tweaked the one from last week. So I added emojis, Caleb, just for you.
Okay. All right.
I also slacked it so I don't forget about it because I liked it. Just like Scott, when you said it, it's like,
Okay. We got 60 seconds on the clock. And I'm gonna,
Any thinking music you want to share?
yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Ooh.
No, wrong button. Sorry.
Where's our friend Afra? She got a client and that's it. She's done. No more.
She doesn't
What's
need us
going on?
anymore.
No, she's away today. She'll be back next week.
All right. How's it going, Sandra? Party rock.
Joel, were you planning on that going out to everybody? I got it to my direct message. 5.5 questions.
Okay, 30 seconds. Doesn't have to be pretty or perfect. Okay. What do we got? Ooh, I like Aaron. What you can learn from coal miners without getting perfect skin.
No. What you can learn from coal miners about getting perfect.
I never said I could read. Okay. Adam, what's yours?
Three secrets to gaining freedom in your business while growing your revenue.
Okay.
My feedback on that, just to be candid, is there's two things going on: growing your revenue and getting freedom. So it's kind of like a compound thing. You want to try to just pick one and see how it sounds and just read it out again.
As soon as I said it out loud, I was like, oh, it didn't quite land right, did it? Looked better on Evernote.
I just think it would be better if you put a period after the word of business. Tips for getting freedom from your business, period.
Okay, Dari, what's yours?
I've just added that to chat now is why you need to stop planning your success.
Okay.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because it immediately throws you off thinking, of course, I need to plan for my success. The point is to also take action, which is something that many entrepreneurs, especially at the beginning, get stuck with. They keep thinking, they're not taking those decisions.
So she also talks about bringing market data into it.
Okay.
So I didn't have a lot of time to teach the concept, but basically, what's some data you can source that's publicly available that, like, okay, of the people, maybe it's a survey of the people who are surveyed that they're interested in starting their own business, actually take action. Right? So, maybe you could tweak it, something to the effect of like 87% of people surveyed state they want to start a business, only 2% actually do. Here's why.
Okay.
See? So you're appropriating data that's in the market, you're making it your own, and it's like, wow, and you're using that to sell your point. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. If I had more than 2 minutes, I'd find something.
no, I know. I'm just like, it's meant to be rough. All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Pellegrino, share yours.
Questions everyone must answer to finally achieve purposeful identity.
Okay. Any feedback on that from people?
Could you repeat it again, please, Joe?
5.5 questions everyone must answer to finally achieve purposeful identity.
I think it's missing what's the main pain point that it saves you from?
Lack
Like
of purpose and lack of identity.
Yeah, but that might be the root cause, but what's the symptom? What's the
Feeling-
major pain symptom?
Like feeling lost.
So you're a front end piece is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'll definitely say I like the 5.5 thing. That off the bat is like an intriguing way to phrase it. So I don't know what your half question is, but it definitely is interesting. I'm with you, Ken. That half, I was like, what is that, like 2 words of a question? Like, it intrigued me to read it more.
All right. Say it one more time as it is, Joe.
5.5 questions everyone must answer to finally achieve purposeful identity. I like what Sandra said, feeling lost. I think that's a good front end.
Yeah, and then into your 5.5 questions. Or whatever feeling would be with what your purpose and identity. Yeah.
It's lost. There's no question about it.
Okay, let's flip it a little bit. So someone who has answered these 5.5 questions, what does their life look like?
Very much like the ones on this call right now. That's why we're on the call, isn't it?
Okay. All right, present company excluded. All right.
So the New York Times says that only 23% of people know what their purpose is, and I think that's overstated. Because as I speak, I recognize that most people have no clue what their purpose is, and it's a root of it's an identity question, actually. They really don't know who they are, so therefore they can't know why they are.
So how about who are you and why are you here? 5.5
Yeah,
questions.
that's my front end is who are you really? Who are you ? Really ? 5.5 questions everyone must answer to purposeful identity.
Well, you could put that instead of the feeling lost, because the question has to be there. Had to be something up front to.
I think emptiness is another key symptom that you could twist the knife on. Lost, empty, alone, confused.
I like empty.
I don't know the words for it, but I'm thinking of, all right, so you're saying 5.5 questions everyone must answer for purposeful identity. What if it's something like the 5.5 questions the most successful, fulfilled people have answered? Find them out now, or something like that. It's like the people who are living, quote, their #best life and really operating as God has called them.
But that's not going for the pain, because that was similar to the condo, the lifestyle thing. So she said, go for the pain. So instead of going, just changing it to you instead of everyone.
Caleb, one thing, I think these things, I sort of think about these little hooks as being an affiliate ads. If you can show my camera again, which are like this big on the screen of like, have you ever seen a little affiliate things? You get a little square. You've got to get that message into that tiny little square. So I really think it has to be short. Do you agree with that? Like, you really have to consolidate what you're saying into, like, I don't know how many words, but the little box on the webpage is a tiny little box, and people have to get their message into that little box. So do you agree with that? Is that wrong? Like, it has to be short.
No, I agree. I was talking with John Marie last week, and I said, I want you to fit your business on this note card, right? Simplicity scales. If we're trying to communicate an overcomplicated concept, we lose people, right? And so that's a good point, Aaron.
But that's not what she was doing though last week. She was going into the longer, so it was more of a verbal thing, not a billboard that she was talking about.
She was, but she already had our attention. She already had our attention, right? Compared to the person who's just scrolling through a web page that you have like 5% of their mind share. You got to hook them.
Mm-hmm. Brendan, good morning.
Morning, man.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
All right, so we're talking about stadium pitch. We had Amanda Holmes on last week. Okay. What is a headline? If you had 5 minutes to talk about challenges in front of a stadium or audience or stage, and you do this a lot, so I'm asking, how do you present the opportunity of challenges to someone who maybe is not interested in challenges or didn't know they were?
So if you threw me on stage and asked me to just share about challenges and why I love them and why you should do them.
Yeah. How do you hook my attention?
All right. So assuming you just give me the mic. So I say, all right. So by show of hands here, who has a talent, skill, knowledge, ability that they feel like they should be getting paid more for right now? That's probably what I would start with. Do you want me to keep running through that like as an example, or you want me to just?
Yeah, this is great because actually, look, you engaged people, so they're like, oh yeah, I do feel like I should get paid more. So like to Sandra's point and Amanda's point last week, you've tapped into a pain. You feel underpaid for your expertise. Use this simple method. Use this turnkey method, because your method's not simple, it's turnkey. This turnkey method to actually double your income with your same level of expertise or something. Keep going.
So you want me to keep? I'll sort of run through it. Awesome. All right. So also by show of hands, who's here has been in business for maybe over a year? Okay, so a few of you. All right, sort of, kind of. So here's the good news. So all of you have your own area of expertise, and that if I were to come and work with you right now, odds are you would absolutely blow my mind. So the trick is how do we get what you do in front of more people? Now, has anyone done Facebook ads? Has anyone tried Facebook ads? Okay. Has anyone tried social media posting? Show of hands. All right. Has anyone tried cold reach or outreach or calling random people on the phone? Some people have. Okay. So there's a lot of different techniques. And the reason why I say this is I have tried all of these in the past. All right. I've tried Facebook ads. I've lost money. I've tried calling people. Why are you calling me? Get off the phone. And a lot of them can wind up being really uncomfortable. And the reason why that is because we're coming from this place of we're trying to get our thing out in front of somebody's face versus, hey, how can I share value with you? Has anyone here ever had someone come up to them and say, hey, how can I serve you? How can I give you value? Has anyone ever had that happen? I know Caleb did it to me. Has anyone ever come to you and said, how can I just serve you and provide value without asking for something in return? Okay, I see maybe a couple here and there. So think about this for a second. This doesn't happen too often. Now, who here has a LinkedIn account? Does anyone here have LinkedIn? So a couple LinkedIns? All right. I personally can't stand my LinkedIn because it looks like a straight advertising board every time I go on there. Hey, would you like more leads? Hey, can I make you another $10,000 in business? So you get blasted with all this stuff. And the chances of you being able to stand out from the crowd when you go and you connect with individuals is very challenging, and there's nothing differentiated about it. And all of you here said, when I said, has anyone just come up and just tried to serve and give you value without anything in exchange? There were not a lot of hands. So think about it this way. If you guys were able to present massive value to your ideal audience without asking for something up front so you could build that know, like, and trust factor, how do you think people would perceive you overall? Do you think they would be more open to hearing what you have to say? Yes, probably. Do you think they would actually let their guard down a little bit? Do you think they would actually appreciate the fact that you're willing to share something with your 5, 10, 15 years worth of experience versus the person that says, hey, can we hop on a sales call? I'm here to sell you something. So the reason why I love this concept of challenges is that it allows you in a very short period of time to get an ideal group of individuals, a very specific win, provide a massive amount of value, and build that know, like, and trust with your audience. Because what winds up happening is that when you, and researchers have done this, when you grab a group of individuals and you set one very specific goal with a time frame, with accountability, their level of success skyrockets. And what it does is it's going to position you as the expert in your leader in your industry, making you the obvious choice. And here's the best part. The way that these run, these are live virtual events. So not only is there basically minimal overhead, you guys can do this on a month-to-month basis. So by a show of hands here, does anyone have an evergreen lead generation tool that you swear by that doesn't really cost you a lot of money? Does anyone have one of those, like right now, you're like, man, I can do this, I can rock and roll, bring on the leads on autopilot? Okay, so there's pretty much, okay, Caleb does, awesome. So, and that's totally fine. But the good news is, guys, regardless of where you're at in your business, whether you are just starting, whether you've been doing this for a couple of years, whether you've been doing this for a number of years and you're looking for a different way to be able to bring this in, a challenge is something that you guys can always provide value right out of the gate. And the beautiful part is that whatever stage you are speaking from, the concept is that if you imagine for a second, you're able to run a 5-day challenge once a month. So on the first of every single month. So right now, Adam, just because I'm looking at you, man. So Adam, if I were to bring you on this podcast, I'm like, Adam, awesome dude. You shared so many nuggets, so much value, so much wisdom. Where can your audience connect with you? And Adam says, oh, hey guys, here's my Facebook. By the way, I'm having a free 5-day change your life challenge happening next week. I would love to invite you. So now think about what happened. So Adam just put himself out there. He shared wisdom. He shared value. He leveraged other people's audiences. And now the call to action is not, hey, come buy my shit. It's, hey, I've got something I want to serve you at an even higher level with. So now what happens is Adam's driving all this traffic to there on an evergreen basis. He's collecting an email list. He's collecting their phone numbers. And now he's going to be able to provide even more value, more resources, more support to these group of individuals. And through these 5 days, what he's going to do is not just provide information. Adam's now going to go ahead and provide transformation. And when you can provide a massive transformation and a mindset shift in your audience, something inside them changes. You open up their world to a new reality. And now, because you're the person that's done that without asking for something up front, but rather saying, hey, this is what I want to give you and I want to provide to you, then all of a sudden they are more open to hearing what you have to say. And when you say, hey guys, here's how I can work with you on a further basis, and you just extend your hand, the odds of them coming to you and saying, like, thank you so much, I know exactly like where I want to go, what I want to do. It makes more sense for me to invest into Adam because he's an expert at what he does. Let's rock and roll. And
who's
that's
more
what
interested in challenges now than they were before? Yeah. So what was your opening again, Brendan? I'd like to kind of dissect that a little bit, because that's a perfect example of a stadium pitch, actually. All right. So we're leading with the pain, like Sandra's talking about. We're leading with the pain. You have my attention. Like, I feel like I should be paid more for my expertise. Like, why am I broke? I'm an expert. Why is no one paying me? Why am I struggling to land clients? Insert whatever. And then you have my attention. He didn't start out with, well, challenges are the best because, and then he just goes into the content, right? He's pulled me in with that hook. And that's kind of what I'm trying for us to focus on this morning. Like, what's that hook that pulls people in, or people actually want to hear that pitch? So how did you open that up, Brendan?
I said, who has a talent, skill, or ability that they should probably be getting paid more for right now that they're not?
Okay. So the pain, talent, skill, not getting paid.
Caleb, I think Aaron had a question too.
No question.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were raising your hand.
So,
Just quickly,
Yeah.
Brandon, you started by saying by a show of hands, which immediately gets people to take an action. So subconsciously, that's actually a very smart thing to do, because you already got them to put their hand up. They already moved their body. So everything you say after that, they're already more engaged with you. So I think that actually does need to go there, because it's powerful by a show of hands. That got people moving somehow.
okay, so Ken, I'm picking on you today. So what's a question you can ask to open up your talk that highlights a pain?
So we got do you want to end chronic fatigue and feel your best with one easy change to your morning routine?
Maybe that's an okay headline. You know, that's a working spot on the headline. What about an opening line of your stadium pitch? Maybe like a raise of
like a raise of hands type of thing.
yeah. Who here feels tired about 10 a.m. in the morning after their coffee wears off?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Who here hates himself after they eat that second McDonald's breakfast of the week?
Nobody wants to admit that.
Yeah. Who loves their second McDonald's breakfast of the week? Right? Yeah, right? Okay. What do you think? I'm just spitballing here.
No, I like that.
I think he would hook me if he says, by a show of hands. I think this should be called the Brendan question, by the way. By a show of hands, who would like less pain and more mobility in their life? That would get me. I'd be like, hey, yeah, right here, man.
Mm-hmm. So, Dr. Jason, what's your Brendan question? Hashtag.
How are you going to continue going to work when you're in so much pain? But
let's help Jason out with this a little bit.
Well, to be a genuine Brendan question, it has to start with, by a show of hands, like Dari said, that psychological buy-in is so good.
Adam says Brendan question trademark. I like that. Yeah.
That's right.
All right. So the stadium pitch title, it's a hooky headline that has a little bit of market data, right? So of the entrepreneurs you have, this conversation's kind of morphed, which is okay, right? We were talking about the stadium pitch, talking about the headline, right? But it's also important that strategically throughout the presentation, we're pulling them in, right? We're engaging them. Because if you're just talking, even if you are, I don't know, the most engaging speaker ever, your audience quickly starts thinking about their own problems, right? So you need to engage them mentally and get them to mentally engage with what you have going on. So asking call and response questions, super important. Yeah, Adam.
Yeah, that kind of dovetails with something Russell was talking about at FHL. Like you keep asking those questions that elicit that yes response. Like how may feel this? How may agree with this? Yes, yes, yes. What are you doing? You're conditioning your audience to say yes. So it's that long-term game of getting them to say yes.
Right. So the stadium title, we're going to hook them in with the pain. So Brendan, some market data of the coaches, speakers, and consultants you've talked to, what is the percentage who have actually built a challenge and executed it?
Maybe I'll answer the question a little bit differently. So of those that we have helped to get a challenge up and running, about 25 plus people, average person has done about 5 figures month after month consistently. Plus grown their email list and their following and referral source. So it's been a good solid amount of wins.
Okay. That's good for them. I like that. But
I think Caleb, you were going more like globally statistics, not just like what your client results have been, right?
I mean, it could be something like the last funnel, the coach or like the last funnel. If you're a coach or consultant, this is the last funnel you'll ever need. Something like that, right? Or I don't know. This is a difficult one for me for some reason, but like, what is the last funnel you'll ever need if you're sick of not being paid? The last funnel you'll ever need if you're sick of not getting paid what you're worth.
I think you should switch it. Start with the pain point.
If you're sick, for those sick of not getting paid what, for experts not sick of getting, I can't talk this morning. Help me out. How would you phrase it, Scott?
If you're sick of, if you're an expert and sick of not getting paid what you deserve, here's the last funnel you'll ever need.
How do you address people that don't know what a funnel is? I mean,
Here's the solution you've been looking for.
Yeah.
The last
'Cause
marketing
funnel, believe it or
material.
not, is probably foreign to a lot of people.
Yeah, sure.
It's foreign to me before I met you, Caleb. So maybe not a lot of people, me.
I mean, it could be the last marketing tool you ever need or something
There you
like that.
go. Yeah,
The last lead generation tool you'll ever need. The last
yeah.
whatever. Okay, well,
The only.
the only. All right, I want to hear one more Brendan question from somebody. Aaron, what's your Brendan question?
Can't think of a Brendan question right now. I'm still processing this.
Okay, I'll go. No.
So it's who here by show of hands, insert
I guess
question.
my Brendan question would be, where do I get the greenfield customers? That would really be my Brendan question.
The what?
Remember at the beginning, you said you have a source of greenfield customers that are just constantly coming to you that you could pitch and you could, did we not say that? Did I miss that?
Like evergreen, we're basically making-
Evergreen, that's it, greenfield, right. Yeah, how do I get those?
So are you asking me specifically, or are you asking like, so let me ask you for your, give me just the 30-second overview, who you help, how you help them, and what time
Let's
period.
just use one of our businesses. We sell skincare products. So just traditional skincare, the kind of stuff you would buy in Sephora.
Okay. So just in general, I guess it depends on how you want me to answer this. You want me to answer from the challenge perspective or just general marketing perspective?
Let's do it from the challenge perspective first.
Okay. So if you're doing it, and so just so I understand your product, is this is a physical product, skincare,
Physical
you guys
product.
get, okay. So if you, this is how I would do it. I would leverage, you guys have any kind of influencers that you work with?
We're starting that up now.
Okay. So what I would do is I would leverage an influencer. I would do the 5-day makeup to millions, makeup transformation boot camp or something along those lines. Something that has to do with skincare or like,
Right.
just what's that final thing going to be? And then from that perspective, I would leverage the influencer, and your influencer is going to talk about, hey guys, over these next 5 days during this boot camp, retreat, challenge, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to show you exactly how to get the perfect skin tone, matched, colored with eyelashes, makeup, the whole 9 yards. So every guy will hit on you when you walk into the club. Come join now. All right. And then the whole entire intention
Oh, you
behind
got my attention.
Yeah.
Caleb, your makeup's going to be on point, bro.
Yeah.
So your influencer is then going to share, okay, guys, on Monday, we're going to go over the general concepts of foundation. Day 2, your skin type, what you need to know, what to do, what not to do. Day 3, how to pick the right shade of lipstick based on what you're going to wear, blah, blah, blah. And then you do 2 other things like that. And then what you're going to do is, as you're bringing them through, and again, a lot of this has to be the transformation piece. And Caleb, if you're cool, I can share you like a cool structure on how to make sure it's transformation, not just information. But the idea by the end of this is that we want to make the offer so sexy as they've gone through. Be like, look, guys, within this 1 week, we've showed you one of the, I'm making shit up, one of the 10 pillars that we use. That every single woman that uses this makeup cosmetic line totally crushes it when they go out. If you found this was beneficial because you're on this challenge, we want to give you the other 9 pillars of our makeup products, blah, blah, blah. And the way that we're going to, share it is going to be on a once a month, whatever the way you would execute on that is. So now they've learned how to use the product. They've implemented it. Maybe even part of that homework throughout the week was to like go ahead and apply it and then take their pictures, share it in the Facebook group so that now all the women are communicating and we're building this community. And then what I would do is, you could even on, for example, maybe a 6-day or have some Q&A.
Brandon, not to cut you off, we're out of time. I'm sorry.
My bad, man. I'm sorry.
It's all good. We're off the rails today. We're all over the place, but hopefully this was helpful. We have time for 2 takeaways, then we'll wrap it up. If you haven't got your copy of my book yet, drop your phone number and address in the chat. I got Adam's, I have Aaron's, Brendan, I have your information. I have Ken's, I have Jason's, Chuck. Chuck, I know your address. I send you gifts all the time.
Yeah, and you've got all my information and you had it on, I printed it from the.
Yeah, we are shipping this via Mountie to the yeah. So hopefully this was helpful today. Adam, what was your takeaway today?
I mean, it's about that hook, bringing them in. It was, if you're going to run a challenge, like you have to capture their attention straight out. And how are you doing that? How are you getting them to say yes and immediately that you are the person for them?
97% of people are not ready to buy what you're selling. So how do you speak to that 97%? Scott?
This week I refined my stadium pitch and learned that I need a Brendan question.
Yeah.
Who else wants to share a takeaway? Ken Drake, Mr. Beard.
Yeah, I would say I definitely it definitely resonates with we're an expert within our field. How do we now get that out to people? And what do we do to draw their interest enough to want to listen to the rest? So definitely gonna be thinking on that for the week.
Don't sell Slim Fast. Sell them the solution to all their energy problems.
Sure.
Energy and nutrition. Who else wants to do one more takeaway?
I'm trying to find the pain points that I can put it in. And there's so many pain points that I'm realizing, okay, each funnel just has one pain point or whatever. But is your warrior woman missing in action?
I think so. Well, Thanks, guys. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.